If you don't have the numbers 2, 8, and 4 within your date of birth or as your life path number, I'm going to tell you what that means per Vedic numerology because it can bring about a certain set of challenges. And I want to offer some tips for how to live your best life. Welcome. My name is Brooke. I'm a Vedic numerologist and astrologer. Before we get started, I wanted to mention that I just opened up my readings for August 18th through the 28th. And so if you want to book a reading, just click the link in my bio. Okay, let's get started. To analyze a date of birth, we look at the Vedic grid and we put the numbers into the grid. I have a video farther back that goes into more detail. Okay, so let's get started. May is the 5th month of the year. So the 5 goes here. Then the 9th goes here. If it's a double digit, just remember to add those two numbers up. Then going to the year, we don't take the first two numbers of the year, only the last two. That's a 7 and a 5. The 7 will go here, and then there's another 5 here. The final piece is the life path number. That's all the numbers in the date of birth added up, condensed down to one number. This is a life path of 9. Just remember, with life path numbers, we don't use number 11 or 22 or 33 as master numbers. Those always have to be added together. Okay, so do you see how in this person's date of birth, there's no 2, 8, or 4 down here, which is Moon, Saturn, and Rahu? This is a yoga. It's actually the absence of a yoga, right? Usually yogas are a certain combination of numbers, but the absence of this yoga makes someone incredibly spiritual. So even if they're not sitting around, burning incense and doing yoga and reading spiritual texts, they have a way about them that they know that the material world is false, right? They know that there is something higher and something greater to be learned. These people are rarely materialistic. They can keep to themselves frequently. But the challenge is that they have a really hard time being in this world. Life can seem like it's so much more challenging for them. And this isn't about finances. There are people that can be incredibly wealthy that don't have the 2, 8, and a 4, but something is missing no matter how successful or fortunate they have been, because that's not what they're after. They're not after fame and money and recognition and material goods. And so this, interestingly enough, having 2s and an 8 can lead to depression, but not having numbers down here can lead to a lot of depression as well, because it's hard to be in the material world with these rules that kind of seem to defy nature and what is higher. And so to avoid falling into this trap of depression and having to be in the world, you need to find a way to ground yourself in the material world, right? So the way through all of the difficulties is not to become more spiritual. It's to actually ground yourself in the material world, because number 284 is the plane of materialism. And so you need to work hard. You need to do chores. And even though, you're basically taking on more difficulties and struggle, you need to do this, because through being connected to kind of the mundane realities of life, that is how you are going to come to peace, irrespective of if you have a 7 or not, because 7 can stabilize your grid. But even people with 7s, if they don't have a 2, 8, and a 4, they usually struggle in life. I mean, even things as simple as like standing in line at the post office can be very draining for people without a 2, 8, or a 4. And so if you find that you don't have those numbers, right, and one of them isn't your life path, because this yoga, this, absence of a yoga, if you will, is not going to apply to you. Like if you're a life path 4, it won't apply. But even if you find that you seem to struggle more in life than other people, it's not necessarily that you are, but that is how you're synthesizing the realities of the world, that it's all a struggle. And so for that reason, then yes, life is harder for you, even though, if you're doing like tit for tat, what's happening with everyone else, it doesn't seem as hard. It is as hard because you don't have a 2, 8, or 4 to ground yourself. There can especially be problems when you run the dasha of, like, say, an 8 or a 9. Dashas are planetary time periods that we use within Vedic numerology to make predictions about what will happen. You're going to find things in life are just so incredibly hard. And so that's my advice to you. Work hard, embrace the difficulties of life. Everything will change, right? Nothing stays the same. But then always be aware that there is something higher. Don't lose sense of that. Also, donating to people is really going to be helpful. And then do things of the material world. So make sure that you're drinking enough water. I mean, I know that sounds silly, like make sure you're eating and drinking, but for you, without a 2, 8, and a 4, it's so incredibly important. Make sure you're staying hydrated, and make sure you eat, right? Like, I'm not saying like go and eat a whole bag of chips, but make sure that you're eating food to remind you that although the material world is hard, this is where you are right now for this life. This is where you are. So eating food, and then, walking, being in the grass, look to what your life path number is and move towards the highest vibration of what that would be. Like, say you're a life path 3, say you have a 3 in your grid, then that's Jupiter. That would be about teaching what is higher, sharing wisdom and knowledge. Just go towards your life path number for how to really ground yourself. And so hang in there. If you're struggling in life and you don't have a 2, 8, 4, I understand that the struggle for you is real. Just hang in there, and don't get down. It's just part of the karma, right? Because you don't have an 8. Number 8 is karma. It's just part of the karma you have to fulfill. Feeling like you may be trapped in this world, but you have to get through it. Right? The way through is by being a part of the trials and tribulations of this life. Let me know if you have questions, and I will see you for the next video. Bye.